Good day, my friends, and welcome. And to you, our family, happy Thanksgiving. To the rest of the world, they have no idea what the hell it is, or the rest of the country. This is the most utter. If you think Christmas is commercialized, this is the best. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They have no clue. It's a good thing, Thanksgiving. Thank God. It's the only time. It's the only time. Maybe people talk about families that getting together. Maybe. But other than that, nobody knows what it's about. So don't try to pretend that, okay, let's say it's the Puritans and forget it. Nobody cares about. Listen to me and listen good. Now, listen to what? Listen to what I want you to do. Ready for this? Now listen carefully. Take it from somebody who wishes they had done this. How do we say this? I wish I could have done this. If you're going to have people over at your home or you're going someplace else and you have a relative, a grandmother, a grandfather, uncle, somebody you like, make sure you have no excuse not to record this and save this. And more importantly, make sure you get somebody like a grandmother, grandfather, and say, tell me about your story. Tell me the first thing you remember. Where are you from? Not this genealogy business, but so that you can say, this is your grandfather, grandmother. You will wish to God. There is no reason for us, with all the recordation that we have and all of the nonsense that we waste cameras on, pictures of nothing. There is no reason why you cannot have today inspire you to get with somebody, especially if you're going to be meeting. Maybe you don't see Uncle Dick for a long time. Sit down and spend some time and record them speaking, listening to them so you can hear them. You will wish you had this one day. You will wish this. You know this. You will wonder what they sounded like and how they, and also have pictures of you next to them. Remember, have a picture of you touching them, smelling them. You know, old people have that kind of old people smell. A lot of it, believe it or not, is dental work, but it's not bad. It's just like an old person smell, because that's the only thing this is about. That's the only thing this is about. The commercialization of this is the biggest load of crap anybody's ever seen. Nobody knows. It's all this Norman Rockwell stuff, and that's fine and that's terrific. But what it really is about is the fact that you are so lucky. You're lucky to be, I'm sorry, I still say this, still lucky to be in this country. As much as this government is so bad, as much as it is so bad, this is the only country I know. It's the only group of people I know. It's the only, and I want it to be better. And I wanted to be better. And there was a time last time. And by the way, remember, do yourself a favor. Those individuals, those members of your family that are not special, who made you feel bad, cut them off. Have a pre-funeral. They're dirt. They're nothing to you. Anybody, whoever would disassociate like that horrible Kennedy, what's her name? The one who talks like this. Not Rory or whatever her name, not Rory or I don't know what the hell her name is. But the one who disowns her brother over Trump, cut these people, amputate these people from your life. You don't need these people. They're miserable. All these people. Just because they're through some biological connection a part of you doesn't mean you have to tolerate this bullshit. Make sure you if you want to be thankful, the people who make your life better, most of them are not related to you. Most of them are not related to you. I have probably right now, with the exception of immediate family, no one, nobody, no cousins, uncles, nobody, sister, but that's it. That's it. I'm okay. I'm okay. The idea that somehow these people, you owe them something because you're connected through consanguinity, because they're your cousin. If they mistreat you, cut them off. They don't exist. Kill them. Theoretically, figuratively, end them. Crypto says, today is the Norman Rockwell of my life. Thank you, Uncle Lenny. Thank you, and Mrs. O. Thank you. Listen, it can be a blast getting together, eating like the whole football thing. Here we are in New York. It's the day of the parade. It's miserable. It's gonna rain. It's 46. It's dreary, and these people. It's great to see kids. I've never understood the balloon thing, but listen, if they like it, God bless them. And how people, you could never get me to go out and stand in line and just what? Crowded. There's no bathrooms. Oh, forget it. And then there are people. If you have people, in Central Park, West, somebody who has a nice, apartment. I never got the parade thing. Never got the parade thing. Who is it? Anwar says, I love a parade. Never got it. Never got it. But understand something. Spend today, if you're going to be seeing relatives, and by the way, don't wait to do this now. You should do this ahead of time. Record them. Have them somewhere. Put it on a file. Put it on a YouTube. Somewhere. Just do something. Because one day you're going to want to know what grandma sounded like and what she looked like before they get to be, whatever it is. And that's it. That's it. Because memories are one thing, but recorded memories are even better. They're really better. I don't know what happens to the commercial world. I don't know why they take this. This to me, it just destroys everything. Whenever we ceremonialize something, we destroy it. Absolutely destroy it. It becomes commercial, from birthdays to christenings to every other thing. Like it's happy commercial Secretary's Day, and I was like, what are you doing? Why don't do this? This is what we do. We take everything and we destroy it. We take love and birth and politics and elections and we destroy it. We destroy it by a bunch of mindless commercial heathens. So other than that, it's a glorious day today. It's a wonderful day. One of the things which I cannot tell you, the people that I know who always say, I don't like turkey. There are people who say, I don't like turkey. I don't like turkey. I don't like it. I don't like turkey. Okay, fine. So then somebody will say, well, you want to go for a ham? Okay. And they have these deep conversations. Well, we might want to go for a ham. A nice roast beef is always good. Then they say, well, what's the purpose of this? You got to eat this stupid turkey thing. That's the whole point. Loaded with antibiotics, loaded with hormones, loaded with 40, 50-pound breasts like that. You got to have that. You got to have all that stuff. Whether it's too dry, maybe you might want to go for a deep fried turkey. You see the video of the fireman who is putting the deep fried turkey into the cauldron and it catches on fire. You might want to go a turducken, and then you have these weird things that people will make for you, and they look horrible. Believe it or not, I think they're wonderful. I think one of the best things ever is green beans with those dirty French onion ring things on top. They're wonderful. It looks like some kind of a laboratory disaster, but it's wonderful. I think it's the best. I think stuffing. See, one of the things people love to do. This is for plant-based people. This is our day. This is our day because the sides are better than anything. The sides. Think about it. And of course, you can play with what you put in there. But everything from the bread to the gravy, everything can be made. It's up to you. So everybody digs that. That's the stuff. And the turkey, you kind of got to go through it. You got to tolerate it. It gets dry. Nobody knows how to do it. Nobody pays attention to it. If there's always some poor woman, normally a woman who wants to spend her time doing it. There's all kinds of little things you can do. You can use one of those racks where you put the turkey on it. That's also breast side down and all that crap. You do all of that. You should think about it. Years ago, one of the best things I ever did was in WABC at the time. And we talked to the Butterball lady. Remember that? Did you ever have that? Did you ever have that? By the way, I like this. Look at this. Baste it. Baste it does nothing to get deep down into it. You know it, and I know it. Its basting is, if anything, for the skin or the color. Basting will do nothing to get deep down into the interstitial thing. Come on, man. Injecting it might be good. That's a good one. That's a nice way to do it. But in any event, see, people just do think, what does basting have to do with it? What are you talking about? What is basting? Brining it is good too. Brining. Do you know why, Varya? You know why brining works? Do you know why? You know why? Do you know what brining does? Do you know the process? You know the whole about this osmotic part, about the chemistry of pulling moisture out. Remember that one? You got that one? Basting seals and golden brown it. That's just for the outside, as I said. Nothing for the inside. Nothing for the inside. Get that stuff. What's it called? That golden bouquet or something where you make these kind of artificial, where you kind of paint the outside to give it that kind of a look. You realize that most of the stuff you see on TV is not even real. It's not even real. It's all painted. In any event, so years ago we had this Butterball lady on, and this is gonna be terrible. Turns out it was the funniest thing I ever heard. This woman was so terrific. Do they have the Butterball ladies anymore? Kitchen bouquet. There you go, Tommy. Absolutely. That works like a charm. You can also do things like soy sauce if you want to do that. Anyway, do they have the Butterball lady? Do they have that? Do they still have that? Look at this. Think someone died from Macy's giant balloon. No, Rhonda. There was a woman who was hit, the Cat in the Hat. It was on Central Park West, hit a post, and it fell and hit her head. And she, I think, suffered a serious brain contusion. Very, very serious. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm calling up Raul's there. Raul says, to all, happy Thanksgiving. Same to you. And remember, don't be thankful. Understand you are lucky. You are lucky. Be thankful, sure. Just don't take anything for granted. Also, don't ever take yourself seriously. That's all I want to tell you. Back to the lady. So I'm talking to this old lady, and I thought to myself, okay, let's see what she has to say. And son of a gun, she's pretty doggone good. She said there were 2 stories. I said, what are some of the mistakes people make? Obviously, she says, well, one of them, of course, is taking it out too late. You're not defrosting it and all this. And you got to defrost it in the fridge, things like that. But the best one she ever heard was, it was the proverbial woman who decides, I'm going to cook for the first time. And by the way, there is no reason for anybody not to cook. Do you hear what I'm saying? No reason not to cook with YouTube and all of the suggestions. None. Absolutely no reason for you. Everything step by step. Another thing too, you have to have, listen to what I'm saying, might be too late at this point. Write out what you're going to do in the order. This is not just for Thanksgiving. This is for anything. Write it out, because you get all confused. What are the prep works? What the mise en place? What has to be done first? And what can you done the day before? Whatever. It makes sense. Okay, so we're getting to this story eventually. So this older woman, she says, well, there was a woman who had the proverbial in-laws over, and they were going to come over, and it was the new wife. She did everything perfectly. Oh, sometimes people will leave the giblets, which is a nice way of saying the guts. Giblets is great for gravies, you know that, but they leave that plastic bag in the front flap of the turkey, so it's in there and it melts in the plastic and the whole. Make sure you pull your save the giblets. In any event, so she did everything perfect. Turkey, everything done, ready to go. She puts the turkey in, and she hits. Listen to this. Listen to this. Come on, Jonathan Connor. Mise en place. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what that is. Everything in this place is we have all the prep work. All the prep work. Here we go. Give me this one. That's good that you ask, though. It's good that you ask. Don't always ask. What does that word mean? What does that word mean? There is mise en place is a French culinary term that means everything in its place or gather. It refers to the organization and preparation of ingredients and equipment before cooking, right? Very important. So she puts the thing in the oven, everything's fine, and she closes it, and she hits the cleaning, the self-cleaning cycle. And she can't open it. And it gets to about 9,000 degrees where it cleans. And she says, what do I do? He said, I don't know. Can you unplug it? No, it's a gas stove. What do you do? I still don't know how. I think they had to call the fire department or do something, but she had all this stuff in there and couldn't figure out. It was locked. Locked. Okay? Absolutely 100% one of the greatest stories ever. May I suggest something to Hick Wiseman, ladies and gentlemen? If you like mayo, make an aioli sauce yourself. You know what mayonnaise is, right? Or mayonnaise or mayonnaise. They call it mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. That's the way it's pronounced. It sounds mayonnaise. To make your mayonnaise, why don't you just make it yourself with a little hand mixer? It's just an emulsion. It's very simple. Very simple. Look at this. Barry Taylor says, trip the breaker. It's gas. I don't know what kind of an electricity. I don't know how much. This is a good question. It's a gas oven. What's maybe the lights will go off, but does it contain? One of the things that people have to know. Oh, everybody's calling. Isn't that nice? People, very, very, very interesting. Now, look at this. Egg yolks and olive oil. That's kind of what it is. An aioli sauce. Everything you want to know. Everything you want to know. Now, let me ask you this. What is, and by the way, I also, for those, what is the difference between mayonnaise and salad dressing? Salad dressing may actually be better than mayonnaise. I love that mayonnaise. You understand what I'm saying? Just a thought. Just a thought. What is that thing that people bring? What is that thing that people bring that you hate? To me, that radioactive green gelatinous jello thing with the pieces of the mushroom. Look at this. Trash Man says raw eggs, yuck. Raw eggs in mayonnaise. Nobody's saying eat raw eggs. I don't think you should. I don't do that. But that's okay. I will never eat an egg. Never. That's me. But invariably somewhere you're going to get they're an egg white and okay. I want to bring you back to speed, my friend, because nobody knows anything about why we're doing this. The truth is super chat censorship. The truth is super chat censorship. Well, you wrote that, Evan. Evan, you speak of this with all due respect. Have you ever thought about spreading a word apart? Write something, spread, just divide the word. Put an asterisk in the middle. I don't understand why this is, forgive me, and I thank you for your kindness. Why is this such a big deal? Think of yourself as a spy. You've got to send something in code. You have to figure it out. You have to put a code word in there. What are you going to do? I can't write this. Then do it. Do it like Sparky does. Good comes out do, and now good. Look at this. Wax green beans. Look at this. This is wonderful. There we go. See this? Now, this is, of course, people saying, no, no, no. This is for some reason. Super chat is different. Everybody, this is a great way. Everybody see if super chat works. Send something. Everybody. And they say, here. That's a nice way of saying, yeah, let's see if the $10 one works. And put a word and spread it out. See, it works. Let me bring you back to square one. You ready for this? This is probably the last thing you want to hear today, but I want you to think about what's going on.
Is the name of the Russian intercontinental ballistic missile. It is in every respect the most powerful missile in the world, weighing more than 210 tons and over 34 meters long.
There we go.
The missile system with this ICBM is designed to hit all kinds of targets, including those protected by modern missile defenses. The flight speed of this missile reaches more than 5 miles per second, which provides it with the ability to fly from Moscow to New York in 18 minutes.
There you go.
An important advantage is the ability to use separable warheads and maneuverable monoblock warheads. On board, one missile can be 10 warheads with a power of 55 kilotons, and then the missile can fly 7,000 miles, which is almost equal to the diameter of the Earth. If 10 such warheads attack New York City, it would have a target area of more than 1,000 square miles and would kill about 5 million people. Or there could be one more powerful nuclear warhead on board, 20 megatons, in which case the missile could travel 10,000 miles, which exceeds the diameter of the Earth by as much as a third. If a 20 megaton nuclear warhead attacks New York, it could look like this. A massive nuclear explosion would kill about 5 million people, and the fallout would travel up the entire coast and reach the Canadian border. The power of a salvo by a division of the strategic missile forces armed with Satan is equal to the 13,000 bombs detonated at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 15 missiles of the complex were guaranteed to destroy the entire industrial potential of the United States.
There you go, my friends. Isn't that nice? So, remember, talking about being thankful and being thankful that this president is at the helm. We're still being run by this lunatic who is not in charge of this country, but a committee that runs it. And that's why, my friends, when I talk to you about these things like preparewithlionel.com and Black Friday sales, and it's not a joke. And not that anything you could buy could prevent against nuclear annihilation, but just understand something. Never lose sight of who the enemy is. So right now, preparewithlionel.com. This is going on right now. Pay attention. I'm telling you, I know what's happening. I know what is happening. Our good friend Drew West Press says, we try to use code and the algorithm still blocks it. I don't know what you're trying to say, but thank you. Crypto says, someone mentioned a separate app for chats. That's why. Very good. Interesting. That's good. Jonathan Clarence says, does anybody think aliens will let us World War III? Of course. Drew says, Mervs are brutal. Yes, they are. And guess what? Do you think that President Putin wants to do this? Do you think that people are going to do this on their own? No. They're going to do it if they are provoked. And thank God we got away from this lunatic, this moron. Thank God we got away from this moron. Thank God this.
I guess I should clear my mind here a little bit and not say what I'm really thinking, but let me be clear.
This was a long time ago. People don't get better with time. People don't get better with time. Do you understand what I'm saying? And let's talk about something that I believe I wish the president had some. I wish we could have done something. I wish we could have done something. I wish this man, who is my favorite, going back to some regular news, this man is my favorite. Grady Judge from Polk County, Florida, which is Lakeland, is still the best. Watch this. Watch him lay in.
Have to have a firearm. You don't have to have a knife to be a dangerous individual. And if you come to this county and if you use extreme violence to try to carjack somebody from their car, if you get shot, that's on you. You can protect yourself and your property.
I think some attorneys would disagree with you, but you're the sheriff, so.
I don't care. That's what the attorneys do. Attorney's attorney. But I can tell you right now, you come to this county and you do this string of violent stuff, you're blessed. You're blessed because that man up at that store had the right to protect himself. He had the right to protect his property. He had the right to protect that lady. That lady had the right to protect herself and her property. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? And then he goes down to the interstate, causes a crash, tries to break in and steal 2 more cars while they're occupied. While they're occupied. You don't think there's a problem with that?
They don't have a right to protect their property. That's what they did do. You were saying he should have shot him.
I didn't say he should have. I said he could have, but he chose not to.
Which was the correct choice, correct?
The choice was that he used the force necessary
Correct.
to protect himself and his property. Had he used that force at the end of that string of violent felonies and encounters and attempted carjackings and stealing from people's cars while they're there in it with it, and subsequently tried to break into and did get into 1 car with a man in it, you can't break into people's cars.
Can you believe?
and
Can you
take it
believe?
within-
Can you believe he's even some stupid moron from the media? Somebody's even questioning this. It really never ceases to amaze me. What the hell's the matter with these people? Never. Nobody or no group has the balls to start World War III. You are so wrong, my friend. You are so wrong. It doesn't start. I don't know what you think it is. I don't know how you think it happens. Nobody's going to start it to say, I'm going to show you we're going to survive it. It's when it's tripped. It's when machines and when Jacobson writes, and this how easy it is for these things to get started. That's what we're talking about. Nobody's going to deliberately say, I'm going to send a thermonuclear weapon across just to prove who I am. I scream at you in chat. Pay chats on fail. Okay, thank you, Evan. I don't know what to tell you, my friend. I don't know why you're yelling at me. I don't know. I have no say in this. I have no say. I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. I do know it. But let me tell you something. Let me go back a couple of things. First and foremost, if you think why do you think we are more or less likely to commence, as you would say, World War III? There's not going to be World War III. You're not going to have multiple countries involved in this. Do you think? But let's talk about a massive nuclear attack. Do you think that's impossible? Look at this. Lionel, tell us not to eat turkey. Lionel, tell us not to eat turkey yet today. LOL. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Nobody's telling you not to do anything. Anyway, what to tell you. Jonathan says there are many instances of UFOs disarming U.S. and Russian nukes. No, there are not. There are some reported. There was one famous one, I believe, where there was something where somehow it was, I forget how it was, but it was reported, and you saw this. There was this tether device, and it zapped it. But I don't count on it. Crypto says, analysis, please. Which came first, Roswell, aliens, mind control, or MK Ultra mind control narratives? Roswell was 47. Aliens, mind control could have been prior to that, I guess. And MK Ultra was, I think, after 47. So, yeah, I think so. So just let me just explain. Let me go back. If you think that somehow, as Annie Jacobson has said, that a massive nuclear detonation is impossible, no, absolutely. Rendlesham Forest in England. That's right, Joseph. Rendlesham Forest. You know, it's so funny, Joe. The number of people that I know who, again, per usual, don't know anything about this. We know nothing about it. And the media. That's why today, this is the commercialization of Thanksgiving. It's the worst. It's just so, you know what I think is, I hope is done? All of these forced biracial families. Remember that time when it was forced, where you had to have the black father and the white mother and the mixed race kids? Look, I don't care one lick about that. It doesn't matter at all in terms of, but this forced commercial stuff. And by the way, is there anyone today who is going to see no one? Is there any of us listening, any of you, who is going to be with no one today? That's really nasty. Anyone? And the reason why are you made to feel bad? Because of the pressure that's put on. The pressure. And the women who have to cook and the people who have to. Sometimes, let me tell you something. Nobody wants to talk about this. It's stressful. Look at this, Freddie. There you go, Freddie. Freddie, you're with us, Freddie. Damn it. This is our plate. Freddie, look at this. Trash Man says, by choice. Nothing wrong with that. I'm alone, but my family's all dead. Well, there you go. I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm isolated. Listen, don't see, just another day. You see I know nobody wants to talk about this, but you feel the pressure. Look at Laura. Laura says, yes, by choice. There's nothing wrong with that. I hope you don't ever miss this, but you don't see, this is, nobody wants to see it my way. Nobody wants to see it my way. Look at this. I love you guys. But this is why I say that the commercialization of it is bullshit. You're put into this pressure. You're not even allowed. There are some people who say, what about me? I don't want to do this. Let me also go a step further. There are some of you who say, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. I don't want to say, okay, fine. But you feel like you have to because of the lore and the commercialization of where we live. You've got to do this and you've got to make, come on, man. It's weird. It's strange. It's this. And what about this? What are you going to be doing today? What are your plans? Why are you asking me what my plans are? I hate that. I don't know why that bothers me. I don't know. I cannot tell you. It's almost like you have to do this. You have to do it. Why? Because of the commercialization of it. You got to do this. You've got to do this. You've got to. I mean, I don't know about you, but being with my family, my immediate family, it was something we did all the time. I mean, Thanksgiving was like, okay, we're going to do it, but it wasn't, how do we say this? It it wasn't so rare, because I got news for you. Most of the people, I don't know about you, but do you like all your relatives? Do you ever feel a kinship to your relative? I don't. I never did. I mean, I did, because they're kind of spread out, but I never felt any kind of kinship. Never. Uncles, and I mean, I guess in retrospect, sort of. Crypto says the assumption ex-German scientists created MK Ultra. No, MK Ultra was almost exclusively, it was one psychiatrist who was doing LSD studies. I think that's ours. Look at this. Bob says, I fell a duty. I guess you feel a duty? Maybe. Look at this. Not at all. No, not all of them. Some of us very close. Good for you. But some of you, do you ever have these crazy relatives where all of a sudden they would stop talking to you? Drew says, everyone in chat sounds so depressed. Enjoy life. Nobody sounds depressed. Who's depressed? This is not, excuse me. Wait a minute. This is called taking. Thank you, Drew. This is called reality. I'm not depressed at all. You want to depress me? Put me with a bunch of people that I don't like. Let me tell you something. I want you to understand something. And this is the most important. Nobody ever wants to talk about this. You better earn your friendship with me. And the same thing with my acknowledgement of you and you being a family member. Okay? Our good friend Christian says the alien visitors have the ability to clean the nuclear mess we are about to unleash and will colonize this beautiful earth. Maybe. I don't know if that's true. Maybe. Crypto says, yes, ours like NASA curators. See, I love about this. We have two different things. We have depressed people on Thanksgiving or not. Then we have UFOs and MK Ultra. I love this. Now, let me explain something to you. Let me see if I can explain this. Is anybody here depressed? I'm not depressed at all. Anybody here depressed? Nobody. Look at this. No depression. Family is not always fun. Oh, I'm with you. No, there are people. Let me tell you something. This is my bottom line, and I promise you, if you know me, you have no earthly idea the loyalty, what I've done for no reason, not because of God, but because it's my nature. It's my nature. People need help, or if somebody's in trouble. Really, seriously. And especially, and I like most people, but there are some people that are just full of shit. And let me explain something. My father had this expression. We're all going to do this. You make the cross. That's it. 3 strikes or 2 strikes or 1 strike. That's it. I am done. And don't ever let anybody take you for granted. Don't ever let anybody think they can come in and out and lie and all of a sudden. And this is where this is done. This is the death sentence. If all of a sudden you decide you're not going to talk to me anymore. You ever had those? This drives me crazy. What's the matter? I don't know. He got upset. About what? She got upset. About what? What is this? What happened? I don't know. What happened? That's it. Done. See ya. You don't exist. Laura says, just avoiding flu-ridden family. Not that we don't love each other. Enjoy the day off. Well, if people have the flu, don't say COVID. You don't understand something. You were sitting around, and most of the time when people have the flu, they were the most contagious before, when they were just pouring off of this stuff. Whatever your reason, it's your day. You get to decide what you want to do. This is your thing. Don't ever feel like you've got to be abused by a family member because somehow they're the family. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the best is going over to somebody else's family. Somebody will invite you over and you get to see, who are these freaks? And then you realize that's the best. When you sit back kind of as an observer and you see what's going on. Crypto says, MK Ultra apparently electroshocked away depression. Boy, Crypto, you are into this MK Ultra today, my friend. Good for you. Anybody ever have a ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, shock treatment? It works. It absolutely is the most incredible thing. It will zap your memory, but it has done wonders for people. How about this one? Did you see where Zuckerberg is meeting with Trump?
Reporting that Mark Zuckerberg was at Mar-a-Lago today meeting with President Trump.
By the way, not to say anything. Brian Kilmeade is a jadrul, just so that you know this. He's a moron. All right, he's just a moron. And he's there and he's whatever it is. I don't give a shit. And now Stephen Miller, doesn't he look like Colonel Klink? Wouldn't he be like, if you had like a German officer, if you had to have like, they have this, doesn't he look like doesn't he look like just like this? I love him. I love him though.
Can you confirm that?
Yes, that's correct. And Mark Zuckerberg has been very clear about his desire to be a supporter of and a participant in this change that we're seeing all around America, all around the world with this reform movement that Donald Trump is leading. Mark Zuckerberg, like so many business leaders, understand that President Trump is an agent of change, an agent of prosperity.
Right.
And so business leaders, CEOs, everywhere, they want to be an element, a supporter, a booster of making our economy prosperous, delivering for American workers, and making sure that America is the most powerful, wealthiest, freest nation on the face of the earth. So we'll see what comes of that. And Mark, obviously, he has his own interests, and he has his own company, and he has his own agenda, but he's made clear that he wants to support the national renewal of America under President Trump's leadership.
Good. It's good for the president. He turned the page with some talk show hosts on another channel, and he might be maybe getting over the fact that Zuckerbucks really impacted the 2020 election in those very.
Such a tool. I mean, you know, I have no time for this bullshit. By the way, was on yesterday with Dr. Drew. That's up. Watch that one. Somebody mentioned Colonel Klink. Me. I lived, still do, but in the kitchen, so to speak, we had Nipsey Russell, Georgia. Remember the who played Georgette on Mary Tyler Moore? Was it Georgia Engels? She was in the neighborhood. Mitch Miller. There was another guy who was a great. Oh God, he did the best. He was famous. He did this Ed Sullivan imitation. Anyway, him. There were some other people, but Werner Klemperer, Colonel Klink, and he was married to Kim Hamilton. She was a black actress. Anyway, he was in the hood. But one day I was at a place. It was at a D'Agostino's on 57th and 9th, as a matter of fact. And there he was. So we're in the toilet paper section. And he's looking at, I forget what it was. It was a whole Charmin or something. Anyways, I look over. And the thing about New York is you don't want to ever talk to anybody. Like, you know, Pacino lived here and a lot of it. You see him around a lot, and you just don't, hey, you never do that. But I turned to him and I said, just like this. He's doing this thing. I said, ain't this some shit? Me and Colonel Klink picking out toilet paper. What do you think there, Werner? What do you like? I like the Charmin double ply. Now, I know you're a Scot man, and he was the nicest guy. We're talking about toilet. I said, isn't it funny? And I started immediately talking to him. I said, isn't it funny how we all have our brands? And we'll go to a store and we'll buy generic paper towels, generic this, but toilet paper, no. And he was the nicest man. So anyway, you mentioned him. Just thought I'd say that to you. By the way, let me also remind you of something. Please, speaking of, Black Friday or Green Monday or whatever the hell this is called, mypillow.com. Remember this. Remember Mike Lindell. Remember what they did to him. Remember what they did. mypillow.com. Promo code Lionel, mypillow.com/Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Just go to this. All of these links are on the description section, and you will be absolutely amazed at what's available right now. He's a great man. And after what they did to him, those rat bastards, remember, we all stick together because we're all in this together, brother. Crypto says, I love our family radio. This is, maybe you mean this. This is kind of radio. I deliver for you, MAGA. There we go. And ha ha ha. Okay, there you go. Now, moving on down the line. This son of a bitch should be in prison.
Them not to show up.
This was Fauci when he was talking about how to handle. This is what he said. This is what this son of a bitch said regarding Thanksgiving.
Your family isn't vaccinated. Should you ask them not to show up?
Yes, I would do that. I mean, I think we're dealing with a serious enough situation right now that if there's an unvaccinated person, I would say, I'm very sorry, but not this time, maybe another time when this is all over.
I hate him. And people say, oh, no, it's okay to hate. No. It's fine. Hate makes me happy because I don't know what good is unless I know what bad is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Prison, cracking rocks upstate, son of a bitch. By the way, did you hear this good news? Look at this.
It's really woke gone wrong. The irony that they were canceling Native American culture as the DEI movement went way too far.
You want to go back?
Look, this is honoring a Blackfeet chief who was born in Montana.
Redskins, the main.
He's highly esteemed. The Blackfeet tribe of Montana, their current chairman and the tribal council signed a letter in strong support to bring the logo back.
But the name Redskin
honors Indian country. So we've had good discussions with the NFL and with the commanders. There's good faith negotiations going forward that's going to allow this logo to be used again. Perhaps revenues going to a foundation that could help Native Americans in sports and so forth. We're making good progress. And based on the good faith negotiations, I made a decision to support this bill yesterday in the committee.
I know that they put a plaque up at Northwest Stadium honoring Wetzel and the logo. It'd be great to see it back on the helmets again. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Why do you give a shit about a logo on a helmet? Do you really care about that? Or is it to stick it to those people? One time when I was on talk radio years ago, I made something up. It was called fake news, but but I made it up as a form of it was a parody. And I said, well, this just in today, the NFL is considering a new expansion team, the Dallas Jews. That's what I called it. And it was a fake story. I just made it up. I said, it's just Jews and big Helvetica print type. No Mogan David, no Star of David, no Hebraic style, no people with the kippas and doing Hagiras and Havanagila. No, just the Dallas Jews. That's it. No logo. What do you think? And it was one of the best discussions ever. So what's wrong with the Dallas Jews? What's wrong with saying the Dallas Jews? Well, you can't. I'm not now. If you have a bunch of people with, with beards and okay, maybe just the name Jews. What's wrong with Jews? The Cincinnati Italians. What? Just the name of that. People have lost their minds. This is why commercialism destroys everything. And one more time, last night we played this, and people still think that Kamala was drunk or on pills. I say she's not.
Just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
She's not drunk.
You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did.
Right.
And you have the same ability to engage and inspire.
Sure do.
So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
She's not drunk. She's not high. She's not drunk or high. That's what everybody say. It was so funny. Last night people were reading and go, she's drunk. No, she's not. She's not slurring her words. She's been speaking like this the whole time. This is the way she is. It's called full of shit. That's the word. Sorry. Here's one for you. I love the Aussies. I love this guy.
Dioxide pollution is a major contributor.
Okay, so can I ask you, this is not a trick question, what percentage of the Earth's air is carbon dioxide?
Oh, I don't know.
0.04% of the atmosphere, and human beings are responsible for 3% of that 0.04%, and Australia's responsible for 1.3% of the 3% of the 0.04%. It's like saying there's a granule of sugar on the Harbour Bridge. Clean the bridge up, it's dirty. Surely if a political party doesn't know the quantum of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, what the hell are we standing the economy on its head for? Demonising coal-fired power, driving everyone into renewable energy, which is not available, not reliable and not affordable, plonking us in electric cars, giving us nearly the dearest electricity in the world when we're rich in energy resources, exporting coal so that China and India and Japan can have cheap electricity, and we sit here swallowing this ideological rubbish, putting industry at risk, jobs at risk, and burying the economy.
Isn't that wonderful? I cannot wait. And who was it who promoted this? Commercialized nonsense. This is why I told you, if you want to destroy anything, let the public opinion and these folks have their say, have their go at this. You understand this? And also, I want to go back to what I'm saying. If you decide today to be by yourself, so what? If you decide not to attend a meal with your family, so what? If you are of the opinion that you are not going to be pushed around by your family, assuming they are, or your relatives or your in-laws or whatever, whoever these people are, stand up for your rights and tell them, I'm not going to put up with this. You are your own best friend. You are not put in this world to be placating and assuaging and dealing with the nonsense from everybody else. Stand up and have the guts and the temerity to tell people that they're full of shit. Do it. And people will respect you. And people will realize, whatever you do, leave him alone. Treat others, the golden rule, treat others the way you would have them treat yourself. Remember something. Be thankful, not just today. Do what I said initially. Make sure if you've got a relative or somebody, make sure you record them. Get their voice. Have this, because one day they're going to be dead. And you're not going to be able to, you just, to be able to, it depends how you, deal with pictures. I'm not a big historian. It sounds very weird. I'm uninterested in pictures and things from the past, and I really am. Because my memory of it is more important than the particular event at the time. Because you never remember what actually happened exactly. You never do. And people who live in the past are very, very sad. But for recording something so that you can show this to your kids, it'd be great to say, this is your grandfather, this is your grandmother. Be able to hear them, hear what they say, and ask them really crazy questions like, where are you from? Crypto says, a false balance is an abomination in the sight of good. A false balance. I like that. A false balance. I'm not sure what that is, but I like that. I like that idea. Another thing, too, is realize something. You are really nothing special. You're really not. And if you have been blessed with something, there's somebody who's been blessed more. If you think you've got money, there's somebody who's got more. Somebody's got less, somebody's got more. If you think you're beautiful, somebody more beautiful, somebody taller, somebody wiser, somebody smarter, you are so insignificant. Let your humility run your show. Rejoice in the fact that you are just a little speck of dust in the, what was the expression? Cemeteries are filled with indispensable men. Celebrate your insignificance. And when you get rid of all this crap about how great you are and how smart you are, then you realize, I just want to just do some things because I'm not that special. Pilgrim says, do you mean we're no special snowflakes? Yes, we're not special. Yes, you are correct. We are not special. I can't tell if you're writing these to get around the algorithms. Let me say this again to you. The moment you think you are somehow, I've lived a pious and a great life, and the Lord's been good to me. No, the Lord's left you alone. Because I'm telling you, we can get into, you can go to any, depending upon where you are, and go to any hospital and go to the pediatric cancer ward, which, by the way, we never had pediatric cancer years ago. We do now for some reason. And all those families, mothers and fathers, who would give their life so that their little kid could just live a normal life. People have been through surgeries. And you think this kid did something? If God blessed you, God what? Curse this person? No. That was just randomness. Well, what do you mean randomness? What about your benevolence and beneficence? Speaking of which, Sparky says, remember the Hogan's Heroes episode where they faked the war was over by using fake newspapers and broadcasts to fake out Colonel Klink? Fake MSM News is one way, but CIA still fakes out President Trump. Oh, Sparky, don't ever lose that beautiful sense of, if you think that President Trump is going to be the savior, I mean, he might be relative to others, yes. But oh, my friends, the worst is when it comes to foreign relations. CD Crypto says it won't let me type God. Just put dog. We'll know what you mean. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Let me see something. Why won't YouTube Super Chat allow me to type certain words? This is what I just wrote. And it says, on YouTube, what does it mean when Super Chat says, it says here, what if unable to send message? When you see unable to, this is according to Quora, when you see unable to send message in Super Chat in YouTube, it means one of the following. Chat restrictions. The channel may have restrictions on who can send Super Chats, for example, only subscribers or whatever. Payment issues. There may be a problem with your payment. Technical glitches. Sometimes YouTube may experience temporary, whatever. Account limitations. If your account has received strikes, we have that, or under review. Content restrictions. Don't have that. This is very interesting. There's a wonderful, there's so much stuff. Now let me ask you something. Be honest with you. How many of you have ever typed in that question and investigated it? Anybody? I'll save you your time. No, you haven't. Nope, you haven't. Why? You just don't. You don't look up things. You don't look up things. And that's okay. It's okay. You can use a palindrome. You can use the reverse word. That sort of thing. We want to start. I want to start our own. Let me also, before we forget. Recently, there are people who I find the most fascinating. There are people right now today who are maybe suffering from depression, and also people who are suffering from alcohol addiction or drug addiction. And you're afraid to go to your families because there's going to be drinking there, and maybe this is your first year when you've been sober or you're not drinking, and you don't want to get into habits, because one of the things that we do, whether it's smoking, whether it's drinking, whether it's drugs, it's the environmental, it's the habit part of this as well. And that is one of the most interesting things in the world for people who are fighting their demon, is this thing, this brain chemistry. And I find that absolutely fascinating. Finn Gazinia says, I've been watching for free, so here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Finn. Finn Gazinia, as opposed to Dick Gazinia. And I find this so interesting because one of the things which is so interesting when you talk about people who have been made to feel really humble is somebody who said, I'm out of control. Holy shit, I'm out of control. I'm a wild man or a wild woman. Oh my God. I'm getting upset. I mean, I can't. What I'm drinking, I'm turning into Jekyll and Hyde. That's the most fascinating thing in the world. Drugs too. Well, alcohol is a drug. So think about that. And you've got to be thinking now, what are you going to do? Do I tell people this? Do I make a big deal? Do I go and they tell me, hey, have some wine? No, it's okay. No, seriously, what's the matter? Then there are people all over the world who are just, it's almost like you're possessed by a devil, by a demon. It's fascinating. Fasten. I like this one. What about the psychological effects of oppression? Oh, absolutely. You know, there are many, many of us, believe it or not, who have not gone, who have, how do I say this? People who have felt repressed and oppressed during the prior administration. Null says, I don't like going to anyone's house for Thanksgiving because you're obligated to arrive before and stay for a few hours after the meal. What a waste of time. Just go to the dinner. What a selfish man or person you are. Selfish. Honest. Very honest. Very selfish. Yes, you are obligated to arrive before. You just don't show up and say, have a nice day, like Wendy's. You know this. Cognitive dissonance. Scriplin, do you know what that means? Can you really define that? Can you really define that? Probably not. Look at this. I don't limit exposure. I limit contact. Ooh, I like this. Never take a drink from Jolly West. Remember that? Never play cards with a man named Doc. What was that? Never go to bed with a woman with more problems than you. And never forget the other ones too. There's some other great there are some wonderful these perennial jokes for older folk. I can't tell you the third one, but the other one is never walk by a bathroom without using it. And the last one is never trust a fart, which is, I think, most funny. Raul says, good is not allowed because it sounds like God. Okay, there you go. Well, you just wrote that, so good for you. Never piss into the wind. You don't pull on Superman's tail. Yes. Never eat the yellow snow. That's good. Never, my mother used to say, never go to a restaurant that says dancing. How about when they say waitress wanted? The waitress wanted cafe. There's something around about that. Cut Up Chatter says, so sorry I am late. Got here just what I wanted. There you go. Well, that's the way you should. In any event, don't go swimming with a one-armed man. I like that one. Never with the bed when being forced to sleep next to your grandmother. I don't know what that is, but I want to know you, Freddie. I want to know you a little bit more, my friend. You are one weird dude, and I love it. Logical Male says, hey, Lionel, did you catch Kamala's drunk whatever post-election speech? I've been playing this the whole time. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I just played it now. I just
Never
played
let
it.
anybody take your power from you.
Where have you been?
You have the same power.
Isn't that
that
something
you
where
did.
somebody said, where the hell have you been? I've been playing this goddamn thing for the whole time. I appreciate that, but for the love of God, come on, man. Okay, man. Grandma used to say, go pee-pee and shoe shine, go and shoes to go. Used to say, go pee-pee and shoes 2 times before we leave the house on Thanksgiving. Interesting. Your grandmother must have been a hell of a lot of fun. I think that. So in any event, my friends, thank you. Oh, Sparky says, tell President Trump to watch the new Atlas with Brian Burletic to get a handle on the continuous CIA thread through multiple presidencies of both parties. By the way, does Kamala have a melancholia in vid? Interesting. I think that, well, I'm not gonna say it. Teresa, Teresa became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Our good friends, Gad is great. That gets by YouTube. There you go. There you go. See that? I thought you meant that Gad sad fellow. In any event, dear friends, listen, hang on, we got more here. Crypto says, as opposed to going into the bathroom once. Yes. I will tell you that when you're able to micturate, it's the greatest thing in the world. When I was 13, I had bladder surgery, serious. Oh my God, it was like it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's the little things that count, my friend. It's the little things that count. And there's something so, people don't want to realize this, but whenever we talk about bodily functions, people just, I don't want to talk about this. They go, well, you know what? Well, if something goes wrong, that's the only goddamn thing you're going to be talking about. Micturition is fun. Voiding. There's something that is just so, it's so, the pause that refreshes. Theoretically, if you think about it. In any event, dear friends, what a glorious day. You are so terrific. Crypto, Howie, Teresa, Sparky, The Logical Male, Cut Up Chatter, Raoul, Finn, Crypto, Pilgrim, Christopher, Janice, Spandex, Laura, very, 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 very elusive. Drew West Press, thank you, Drew. Jonathan Kiner, I think we said Evan. Bandsaw Bandit. That's it. Now listen, remember something. Today, like every other day, have a great time. Enjoy your families. Take pictures, take videos, especially to show to your kids or others of people that you're going to miss. Others. Number 2, just because they're your family doesn't mean they're nice. Doesn't mean they're respectful. Doesn't mean you have to hang with anybody. This is a free country, right? Don't do this. Always remember that. 3, always respect yourself. And if somebody doesn't respect you, forget them. These are kind of recurring themes. You got to think about yourself. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's a free country. It starts with you. Next, remember, you are just one little speck of dust in the firmament. There's nothing special about you. And if anything, you're just lucky. It's not because you were blessed. Not because God said there was I'm going to bless you, but not you. And you, well, you can go screw yourself and you I'm going to bless. I don't believe that. I don't believe God sits there and doles out blessings of the right people. I don't believe that for a moment. But in the meantime, dear friends, thank you. Have a wonderful day. We're going to enjoy I mean that sincerely. It's going to be a lot of that today, too. That's always great at the Thanksgiving tip. You know what, Uncle Ed? Maybe it's me, but after I'm done, that's a 2-notcher. You know, you let out the belt, wear a lot of spandex, maybe wear some track clothes and just, I don't know, lift up a leg and fire when ready. I know it may sound gross to you people. I know you might find it disgusting because it's really not the sound that bothers you. It's what follows. It's that blast, that gust, that zephyr of fetid funk, that like Newark after a rain. And it's great to be here. I'm sorry, but because there are some European cultures where, believe it or not, that is considered one of the great, or is it belching? I get it confused. Is it farting or belching? Well, in any event, to me, this is the greatest honor. Just to make some room. You know what I mean? And listen, believe me, Aunt Maxine, your marshmallow gelatin was hit the spot. It really did. Absolutely. All right, my friends, we love you. Remember this. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of this. I still think we have the best family. And let me also tell you something. Listen to me carefully. I was watching a lot of other people on their shows, and a lot of these sick bastards never even pay any attention to the people who are either doing super chatting or just talking or just a part of this. It's like they're so good and they're so great. They just keep talking without any reference to you. Well, I'm not like that. Okay? I respect you. Crypto Domini, especially you, says, yeah, grandma says PPS and KKS before you depart. I want to party with you, Crypto. I really want to party with you. You are my kind of dude. Big Dick from Chi-Town. All right. Look at this. SC Max. She spent time. 100%. She's clapping in hearts. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Bob Goodman. Marshmallow Gelatin. Yeah. I don't know who the hell ever came from that. Christian Lay, we love you too. A null hypothesis. Let me tell you something. You are one weird dude, my friend. One weird dude. But I love you. Don't ever change. You just be yourself. And you're always welcome here, no matter how weird or freaked out. I don't care if nobody likes you. Kathleen says, little grandson's obsessed with belching and flatulence. Spend some time with him. Kathleen, just you know what I mean? I guarantee you, if you introduce him to, did you ever meet your old Uncle Lionel? Who is he? Well, he's from a member, you know. But anyway, spend some time with him. I will have him rolling. Look at this. I love this. My daughter and grandson and I went to Golden Corral. I love this a few years ago and had many friends decide to join us when they found out. It's so much fun joking about how lame we all were for doing that. What's wrong with that? Remember Ponderosa? These little, anybody from Tampa remember Morrison's Cafeteria? That's fun doing that. There's something, I don't know, cheesy. But the thing you said, which is the most fun, was to have fun. And I love people who have fun. I love people who don't take themselves seriously. Because believe me, you understand something? Look at this. Never dated. I like this. Bib says, never date a tennis player, for love means nothing to them. Thank you. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We will talk maybe tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Probably. Just make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. I should do something later tonight, but we'll see. We might get all wrapped up in our, Mrs. L and I are going to be celebrating in our unique way. Anyway, we love you. Have a great and glorious day. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your friends and your family. And thank you for your support. We love you. Have a great day. Don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.